Hello, everybody, and welcome to the weekly reroll, the show where we discuss all the things that have been happening in the Twitch D&D world lately. Last couple of weeks have been kind of crazy. I think we missed the weekly reroll last week, but there were some complications last week. So I'll recap everything that's happened, and I'll give you just a lot where we last left off on the shows that we haven't done in a while. So let's start with the always popular Roleplay Solemn. So Roleplay Solemn last week ended with, well, interestingly. So the week before, the party, I think we discussed what happened the week before, where the party raided the castle of the Verasi general, lower level general, on behalf of Prince Zeldir, I'm sorry, and brought the general back to Prince Zeldir. That was 2 weeks before. And then the week before, he kind of got in trouble with the prince. There's a big fight. The prince tried to kill everyone. Basically, he invited them all to dinner and then tried to slay them. It's framed the murder of the general on the party. Well, not really framed since they kind of were involved. Anyway, hold the party responsible, kill them, and get away with the deed himself. Party fights back. Battle goes on, right? Eventually, they escape the castle. That was last week. Or the week before, whatever. That was a while ago. What happened last week is the party took off, and they were going to head kind of eastward, but then you're like, screw it, we should go out in the woods, like get off the beaten trail. So they head northeast, way out into the woods, seeking some of these towns that are out there that they found on their big-ass map that they now have, which is great. So they come across this one little town. It's a sleepy little place. They hang out for a little bit, rest up, get nice and healed. They're all ready to travel on further, so they head further northeast, trying to get even beyond the reach of where they were. And they come across this other little sleepy town, except this one's been damaged and destroyed. And the night before, they had encountered some sort of weird beasts that would paralyze. Yeah, they were like men, but they had sharp teeth and long tongues, and they were hunched back and kind of broken down. They looked like some sort of twisted, deformed, cursed people, basically. And if they touched you, you had to roll a save versus paralyzation or become paralyzed for, what was it, 4 to 10 rounds or something like that? I don't remember. For a few rounds. So the party barely held off the previous attack, but it got pretty close. At one point it was literally just one person left unparalyzed. But whatever, they were kind of weak in general, but the paralyzing effect could be strong. So eventually the party gets to this town that's kind of burning down, and they're not sure what's going on with it. And they poke around, and they need to rest up because of the battle the previous day, or the previous night where they got hurt. So they'll kind of hang out in a church and start resting up when there's this dude that kind of approaches them in black robes. They had like nailed the door shut so that nothing could bother them in there. And it's the guy on the outside. He's some sort of person. He says he's in control of all these crazy demi-human beasts, or whatever these things were that attacked the party. He's in charge of them, and he's telling the party to come on out and just give up, and everything will be easy. Or he'll come and bring his whole group of guys in there to kill them. And the party's kind of not sure what to do there. But eventually they send Ron out, who sneaks out the window, comes around, does so much damage to the guy, like practically destroys him in 1 or 2 hits. The party, meanwhile, busts down the door that they had like nailed shut and try to fight him, or start fighting him. He gets killed pretty quickly. The party hops back inside. The ghouls, who the man had controlled, started rushing towards the party, but when the man dies, the ghouls kind of freak out a little bit, and Zanzil casts an invisibility spell on him and the horses, and the rest of the party ducks back inside. And so now the monsters are outside, like looking around, and they don't see anything because the battle took place, but then the guys were inside, and the people that were outside went invisible. So the ghouls are looking at the people outside with the horses, and poof, they're gone. It's like, where do these people go? They're not very bright creatures, so they kind of wander around. Eventually, one of the ghouls actually comes all the way inside, but the party manages to kill it before it makes any noise. And they find the back way, and they sneak out, and they ride off, pretty badly wounded. They're still not sure who's in charge there, what the hell that was all about, but they've left, and they think they're safe for now, and they're headed further to the east. And that that's what happened with Roleplay Solemn. Let's move on to Roleplay Vigil. However, there was no Roleplay Vigil last week. The week before was when we met the Banshee and let the king out, and Cats got cursed by a necklace. And then we saw this body, and we tried to report, like help out the local magistrate or the local rulers by, investigating the bodies and everything. But they didn't want us, so we're kind of like skulking about the crypts, looking for clues, waiting for banshees or whatnot to come out and do something. But that's what will happen 2 weeks ago. So just as a quick reminder, hopefully we'll have Vigil this week. Let's move on to the Misclicks. The Misclicks. This is we started our new season. This is Misclicks season 3, episode 1. It is no longer Pirate Edition. It is now Demigods Edition. So we have our 3 new characters. We have Arcus, played by Stephanie Harvey. We have Adia, played by Anna Prosser, and we have Emma, played by Jen. Each one of them is a demigod, and their exact natures and properties and powers haven't been figured out yet. What we do know is that Arcus, played by Stephanie Harvey, is a guy who's kind of a lazy, drunken lout, but he's super buff and really fucking good with his sword. Sword. I don't remember what weapon he uses, but I think it was a sword. We know that Adia, played by Anna, has some magic, and we know that Emma, played by Jen. What do we know about Emma, played by Jen? Oh, we know that she has some magic too. Yeah, so we've seen that Anna is probably some sort of wizard-based spellcaster, and Jen is probably some sort of priest-based spellcaster, and Steph is a fighter. And right now, story-wise, we kind of got introduced to the characters. They were given a quest by this crazy old man who was telling a story to a kid by a fireplace. Basically told them to go get the golden egg of Reluna, which had been lost some time ago. And had traveled. There was a story about the golden egg of Reluna and where it had been and what happened to it. It's said to have caused the dwarves to exist and all these other things. And eventually the party goes and tries to track it down. In the meantime, they go to the place where it's last seen. It had recently cropped up, as the old man had let them know. And there was a nasty troll guarding the location where they thought it was. They dove down the river looking for it, and when they came up, it wasn't there. Or when they were down there, they didn't see it. And now out of the forest comes this troll who tries to attack them. Now, this is a party of first level adventurers, but they're demigods, so they're all really strong, right? They've got extraordinary abilities. So they fight the troll. They kill the troll. They burn the troll because they know what to do with the troll since they're demigods. They're very bright, which is crazy because the troll was like a 5th or 6th level creature to fight, and they did it as a 3 first level fighters and adventurers. It was great. So yeah, that's what happened in Misclicks. They're still on the quest for the golden egg of Reluna, though. Let's move on to Dicing with Death. We did not do a Dicing with Death this week, but the previous week that we did a Dicing with Death was actually a little while ago. We did what exactly? We'd gotten to Seagate. I started poking around, looking at things. I met some nice folks, at some shady ass, crappy, sketchy bar. Got introduced to the guild, the goldsmiths merchant, the gilded union, the goldsmiths union, the golden union. I forget what they're called. I get introduced to them there. I pay my fees. I steal some stuff from a local jeweler, and I start setting my eyes on the real treasure, the treasure of the lady of the castle. And I'm start trying to figure out how to do there. I try and get what's her name, Michelle, involved. But Michelle was missing on me. She just kind of disappears one day. And I'm like, well, I hope she comes back. But, if she takes off, she takes off. Really hate for her to take off with my necklace. But you know what? She might have done that. I don't know. Pissed if she does because I actually liked her. Anyway, so we are looking to get into the castle. And I'm kind of asking around for like, oh, can this door, where... how could I sneak into the castle? And I've been looking into ways to break into the castle and steal Lady Seagate's jewels. That's pretty much the extent of it. We did some good planning, but nothing so important that you wouldn't be able to follow it if you just popped in for the next episode. So that's what happened with Dicing with Death. As for the remaining shows, Roleplay R&D, the new season has not started yet. Old R&D, I think, is still waiting on something. I don't know what they're waiting on, but it hasn't started yet. And as usual, there has been no Dark Heresy whatsoever. So that's it. That is it for the weekly reroll this week. Tune in next Monday when we discuss what happens this week in D&D. I don't think we're going to have Solemn, but I think everything else should be going ahead as scheduled. I don't know about R&D either. But that's it. That's it. If you stick around, we're going to do cartography. And after cartography, we're actually going to do behind the screen, because today is our Monday night D&D group, and it's behind the screen. So we'll see you around for that. Bye-bye.